Hey guys, in today's video, I want to share with you this delicious, soft, and moist gluten-free pumpkin scone recipe that you are not going to want to miss out on. So first thing we're going to do is start with sifting our flour. Here I'm using 1 3/4 cups plus 1 tablespoon of cup for cup multi-purpose flour. And to that we're going to add 1/4 cup of granulated white sugar. One reason I love scones is because it's just a minimal amount of sugar, but it still creates something sweet and just so delicious. So next we're going to add our salt, baking powder, and ground cinnamon and ground pumpkin pie spice. I like to do a mix of pumpkin pie spice and cinnamon because sometimes there could just be too much pumpkin flavor going on. So I like to split the two just to break it up. So you're going to sift all your flour through, and then you're going to want to grate 1 stick of frozen butter. Having your butter frozen prior to grating is so important. One, it's going to make sure that you actually are able to grate the butter, and then the purpose of frozen butter in the batter is so that when it is baking, you get little pockets of flaky deliciousness, and that's essentially what makes scones scones. So once you have done sifted your butter and you've sifted your flour and grated your butter, you're going to work everything through with a spoon, and then you could ultimately use your hands just to break it up. You want kind of like a coarse sand-like texture in your dough. You don't want to overwork it and melt all the butter, but you just want that nice coarse sandy texture. So once that is complete, we're going to set this aside and move on to our wet ingredients. So here we're going to start with our pumpkin puree. I'm using 1/2 cup of pumpkin puree, and then we're going to use 1/2 and 1/2. I have 2 tablespoons of 1/2 and 1/2. And then next we're going to add 1 egg. I'm using a large egg here. And then we're going to add just a splash of vanilla, as much or as little as you prefer. It's just going to enhance all the flavors overall and just bring a really nice balance to the scones. So we're going to mix all of these wet ingredients together until you get a consistency that looks kind of like such. And then we're going to gradually add this in with our dry ingredients. Here I'm using hand mixer. You could definitely mix it by hand if you like. And then real quick, I'm just going to break up the rest of my dry ingredients, make sure the butter is well incorporated, and then we're going to add in those wet ingredients. Now, depending on your climate and how much moisture is in your air, you may need to add a little more 1/2 and 1/2. So you'll see